Hi guys, I'm Abhijeet Kini. I am an illustrator, animator and comics creator, and it's always a pleasure talking about my favorite medium, graphic novels. So thank you Eclectic Book Reviews for having me to do this. I'll be talking about some comics, some graphic novels that I think budding illustrators and writers who want to get into graphic novels, creating comics should read. Largely because of the way the universe has been created in that series. It's very important when you write a story for comics wherein you build a universe, you develop the character, you show the background, what are their ambitions, what makes them what they are, where do they reside, I mean, what's the city like, etc, etc. So I'll come back to my favorite graphic novel, which is Watchmen, which I've already spoken about in one of my posts for the Instagram page. Watchmen is considered one of Time magazine's top 100 novels of all time. It's brilliantly written by Alan Moore and illustrated by Dave Gibbons. And if this wasn't enough, I mean, much to people's annoyance, DC Comics actually went ahead and gave us a series called Before Watchmen. Before Watchmen looks at the backstory of each of the main characters in Watchmen. So, I mean, this of course is the collected, trade paperbacks and hardcovers that I have. But, Ozymandias, the Crimson Corsair, we have the Comedian, who is a very, very important part of the series. My favorite, Rorschach. My favorite of the lot is the story of Dr. Manhattan and the Night Owl. Now, why am I talking about Before Watchmen is that, yes, this is the Minutemen and Silk Spectre, which was rather disappointing, the most disappointing of the lot actually. Why I talk about Before Watchmen is, in spite of having negative to mixed reviews from reviewers and critics that there was no need for it, and you can't replicate Alan Moore's great work, is that it builds the world further. So people who are interested in knowing about the characters, knowing about their ambitions or where they are from, these books actually help you understand the Watchmen universe much better. So like it or not, this is actually canon, and this actually helps you understand how you write a good character evolution. Again, like I said, critics have panned most of it, barring a few of these. Like, for example, again, I'm going to come to my favorite, which is Dr. Manhattan. His backstory on Before Watchmen looks at a lot of things, including quantum physics and existentialism, etc, etc. And I love reading stuff like that. But the fact is, the Watchmen universe got expanded because of Before Watchmen. And if that wasn't enough, came Doomsday Clock. Now, this was a very much sought after crossover. Basically, this brings the Watchmen universe crossover to the main DC universe. So it's like basically saying Manhattan is going to be taking on Superman. Again, people were very skeptical. How would they go about it? But I think Jeff Johns has done a great job, at least right up till the end. Okay, things kind of let go a bit at the end of the series, but I like the concept. I like the way they've taken things forward. And again, crossing two universes over. One is the main DC timeline, one is the Watchmen timeline. Is quite a challenge, and I think for budding artists, the kind of artwork there is by Gary Frank. I mean, of course, he has his own style, he has his own way of going about the panels, but I think they have largely kept their loyalties with the 9-panel grid, which Watchmen is known for. The 9-panel grid is what makes looking at Watchmen also very Watchmen. So Gary Frank has done a good job that way. I love his work. And of course, for writers, this one I'm not even opened the seal, but I've read it before, and this is the hardcover that I wanted, that I've bought. For writers, it's a great lesson again about character development, crossing two universes. It becomes very, very difficult when you have two established universes which are crossing over. How do you do it? How do you treat the characters? What changes? What does not change? Etc. etc. I love these panels. Look at these panels. These two panels kind of sum up what Doomsday Clock is about, and it's kind of like, this entire series is like a homage, kind of a tribute to DC Comics, and of course Superman. If you're a Superman fan and if you're a Watchmen fan, you're bound to like this. And being on the Watchmen topic, I've been reading a lot of comics on the official DC Comics app as well. They have now come up with a very recent short series on Rorschach, which is this one. So if you're on the DC Comics app, you can pay and download and read this mini series. It's pretty interesting. There is visibly a new Rorschach on the on the scene. We don't know who he is. We don't know what he's doing there, and the entire series kind of looks at uncovering those mysteries. So you see, the point is, Watchmen was one graphic novel, which was like a collected set of 12 single issues. But the way they've gone forward and expanded it, and I've spoken about each character, each situation, each character's ambitions, the locations, that is a great lesson in comics. And I think which is why Watchmen and everything that is related to Watchmen becomes quite academic, if you ask me, when it comes to creating comics. Again, if you go by reviews online, if you go by opinions that people have about before Watchmen especially, you will find a lot of negative reviews. I recommend these books strictly for understanding how you go about understanding a character's psyche. So here's me talking about Watchmen and the Watchmen universe. So I hope you guys enjoy all these books. You can drop us a line. You can let us know how you found them, and hope to hear from you very soon. I hope you enjoy these books. See you.